Hello friends. Today we are going to be doing a video all about making a beautiful vendor's booth. So I do have a festival coming up, so I thought, look, let's get started. I'll show you how I'm going to do this because I want a tight budget, as lots of us are when you do markets, fairs, events, and so on. So we're at the hardware store now, getting everything together. And I'm going to put little snips in here of small videos I've made along the way to show you how we're doing this. So this is the rack. It's nothing exciting. It's just a rack from my hardware store. I think it's about $140 to start with. Oh, look at Annie. In the middle of the video, she came in with the washing. Had to laugh, but she's a good girl doing it. So now here's my husband measuring up and organising. This is the kickboard. Because we all know when you have these shelves, the bottom shelf, it's kind of like the annoying shelf where people just kick it, put their foot on it, and, it really doesn't sell that well because it's the bottom. No one looks at that. So I said, look, just make a beautiful kickboard. It will add to my theme. It will just create that beautiful elegance that I'm trying to create in this shelving unit. So that's what he's doing here. And now, I'm going to show you little bits as we go along. So all of these bits are just made out of like a cheap sort of chipboard, and then they're going to just attach to here. And the whole main idea actually is so that every single piece can come off the shelf and it can just be flat packed in the car, because I wanted the easiest solution to carry into trade events and things like that. And I am going to be working at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival next week. So that's why, we're kind of organising all of this now and trying to come up with a solution so we can reuse this booth at other events as well. So, of course, time to give Pinky a little bit of attention. But now let's get into a little bit more work. So this is a pegboard. This is going to be on the side of the shelving unit, because you want to be able to use every part of the shelving that you actually can, because, space is money, really. So any of those things that you can use, definitely do it. Now I'll show you a few snips of my garden, because the hydrangeas are coming to bloom, and they're going to be beautiful when they come to bloom. Now, we don't have anything fancy in our house to do all this building. This is just on the edge of a table, and I'll, of course, help my husband. We'll sort of secure it to cut the pieces. He's the one that will measure everything up and cut it. I am no good with those things. I just have the vision to start with, and then he'll come up with the ideas. He is definitely my modern day MacGyver. So now we've just got this pegboard. Obviously, it's too big, but we needed to cut two pieces. So one will be the top and one will be the bottom, and it's going to sit on the frame. And of course, I'll show you. So I'll show you a finished version as we get to the end as well. So I'm just going to hold one piece, because when you actually cut it with the saw, the problem that happens is when you get to the very end, it just kind of like flicks off or drops when you haven't even finished properly. So that's the whole idea of this. Now, of course, doing this, you do need to have the safety gear. You need to have the earmuffs, the safety glasses, which, of course, we've got all of those things. Both of us are wearing them because it gets really, really loud. And, if you make lots of projects over your life, it can actually really affect your hearing. So, and, of course, bits of dust can get in your eyes. So that's why we've got all the right safety gear here. And we're just going to cut this along. And honestly, I was so excited about this project because I could just see it in my head, and I just needed to be able to see it come to life. Now, my husband had lots of really cool kind of inventive ideas that, he thought of on how we could attach this to the shelving. So there was weeks and weeks before we even made it of coming up with kind of solutions and just little tricky ideas on how you can actually make this. So, yeah, so that's my thing too, is don't think on a big budget, think on a small budget, but how you can actually do it and how this can come to life. Of course, we need someone very, very clever, as my husband is. He's really good with these kind of things. So he's definitely the one to do all these things. Time for a coffee break, of course. Now, it is time for me to seal this one up. So as I said, one of these is the kickboard and one is going to be, we've got sort of like a separate unit on top of the shelf, which is just like a trestle table, and then we've got a front panel. Actually, I think this one here may be the front panel on that, and that's going to be like the counter. And also I wanted a counter that could just be like folded back down. So we used a trestle table, and this attaches the trestle table with bits of dowel down the middle, and hopefully I've got some footage to be able to show you. So here all I'm doing is just plugging up the holes, because obviously we need to nail in the bottom kickboard as well. And so we're just going to do this, and then of course I'm going to get into painting it. Now, please don't look at my messy clothes today. I just had to wear messy clothes so that it didn't matter if I ruined them with paint. But, this is all about making it, isn't it? It's not about a glam shot, my friends. So I've got the paint. My favourite paint to use is Taubman's. I've painted my whole house with Taubman's. I love it. And as many of you know, I do have a background in design. So I know things that are quality, and there's some things you really should pay for. Paint is one of them. So this is Taubman's. The colour is called Very Rosy. I really love this colour. This is what's in my shop as well. And all I'm going to do is, just make sure it looks beautiful. I'll do the trim with the brush, and then I'll come back in with the roller after. Now, I did do 3 coats. I wanted it to be strong, beautiful, gorgeous. And, the one thing with these projects that I really think is important is time. Take your time to paint it beautifully. Don't rush it. Just make sure it's really good. I know a lot of us, we do this last minute, and then you think, oh no, I'm running out of time. The event or the festival's coming up soon. I've got to get it going. But for me, it was like, let's just do a really quality job so that I can recycle and reuse this for many other events. Now, for this one here, basically the unit comes to, I think it's 1.2 meters across, and then also the trestle table part of it, that comes to about 1 meter. So this can be for over 2 meters. And the good thing with doing this and not attaching the whole thing together is the trestle table, I'm going to have that sort of come a little bit backwards. If you can kind of imagine, I will show you. I'm going to have that sit a little bit behind the shelving unit, and that way it's a counter. And there is a strategy while I'm actually doing this. I often have these ideas, and I do a lot of research about it. And there's been a lot of research on, like people's buying power, how they're buying, why they're buying, do they feel comfortable? Why will they enter your store? Why will they not enter your store? And so on. And a lot of it is if the counter is flush with the shelving unit, they feel uncomfortable and they actually won't come in to your store because they feel like you're watching them. So this way, by me doing what I'm doing, I'm actually putting it a little bit behind. And anyway, I hope that works. And that is my strategy anyway for selling. So when you're making a booth, think of those things. Just think of people entering and will they feel comfortable? Is it going to work together? And so on. So yeah, there is quite a lot involved in this. Now, I am doing the voiceover because I just was recording lots of snippets and I thought it would work much better to do the recording after. So I hope you do enjoy this. I'm more than happy for people to, take some inspiration from mine. Hopefully not copy, but, take some inspiration for what I'm doing and, make something beautiful as well. A great thing too with doing the kickboard at the bottom that I was thinking about after we did it is you can hide your food and all the extra things behind it that you take to these festivals, or extra bags, extra stock, extra boxes or containers. You can hide it behind and nobody would see it. It won't look messy at all. And two, I did say this in my last social media. I noticed when I was doing lots of festivals with my daughter, we've done so many, And, you know, you buy these flat packs and then after 1 or 2 shows, they get thrown in the bin, which is costly. You're losing money. And also, you know, it's just becoming landfill. And I don't want to contribute to landfill. So I'm trying to, like I said, come up with an idea that we can reuse in different spaces at different events. So that party's done. We painted that. It did take all day. And now here are the units starting to look like something. Doesn't it look really, really grand? I really, really do love it. And now this is the part that I was talking about before. So here we are with just a trestle table. This is a small, tiny $40 one from my local hardware store, Bunnings, which is close to me. And basically the whole idea of this is we've got this table that can fold down, and then my husband is going to drill the table, and then the front piece that's going to sit at the front, we're going to use pieces of dowel so that we can literally just drop the table into the dowel, and then we can, you know, sort of pull it back out of the table with the dowel and the table. Hopefully this all makes sense. Now, to do this, you need to start with a smaller drill, then go to medium drill, a bigger drill, and so on until we get, you know, the right idea. And there was a couple of things we needed to do. First, we started and then we realised behind the table there was metal legs. So then we needed to put another piece of wood in front of it, connect that and nail that together. And then that piece there would help to drop into the table, which I will show you as we go along. You know what I mean? I hope this makes sense. But anyway, this was the best idea we could think of for a counter. And then what I also did is I found this little tiny box. I think it was meant to be a jewelry box from Kmart. And then I thought, look, I can get that, sand it back. I also painted that pink. And that also has like 2 clear drawers at the front for me. That, you know, customers don't see. And then I can actually put money or, you know, like business cards and things like that into that as well. So, and that's going to sit on here. So now you can see here with the dowel, we're just seeing if it will fit. Do we need to make it a little bit bigger? And we decided that we did. But you can see here with the dowel how that's going through that and then back through the table. So we've done that bit. Now here we are. It's pretty much finished now. It's looking just beautiful. I am going to put some flowers on the top of it. I will actually do a little bit more filming for you when we actually go to the festival next week. So here's the pegboard. Doesn't it look great? The pegboard, I actually bought some little peg clips to go in that as well. And now I put some things on it, and here's some photos just with some products to give you a rough idea what it's going to look like on the festival. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.